Imagine waking up one morning, looking in the mirror, and realizing that those stubborn, puffy eyes you've been fighting for years are suddenly gone, completely gone. No swelling, no sagging, no heaviness, no dull, tired look, just a fresh, youthful, bright pair of eyes looking back at you. Now imagine this transformation didn't come from expensive creams, painful treatments, or sleepless routines, but from the strangest little method taught by Japan's oldest doctor, a man who spent nearly a century studying how the human body ages, how the skin collapses, and why the eyes puff up faster after 60. That's exactly what we're talking about today. Because if you're over 60 or even close to it, those puffy eyes are not just a cosmetic issue, they're a sign. And Japan's oldest doctor says if you ignore this sign, it accelerates aging by up to 10 years. But if you understand it and fix it the right way, it can quite literally rewind your face back to a younger version of you. And what's even crazier, he insists there's only one real way to get rid of puffy eyes for good. Not temporarily, not for a few hours, but permanently. Today, I'm going to share exactly what that method is, why it works, and how you can start doing it today, even while sitting on your sofa without buying a single product. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand your eyes better than most dermatologists, and you'll know exactly what to do to make that puffiness disappear naturally. Most people believe puffy eyes are simply a skin problem, something that happens because the skin gets thinner with age, or because we didn't sleep enough, or didn't apply the right cream. But according to Japan's oldest doctor, that thinking is completely backward. He explains that puffy eyes, especially after the age of 60, are not caused by the surface of the skin at all. The real issue lies deeper, in the circulation system that supports the entire eye area. And once you understand this, everything suddenly makes sense. He discovered that the skin under the eyes is only the final place where the problem shows up, not where it begins. By the time puffiness is visible, the deeper layers have already been struggling for years. The slowdown begins inside the blood vessels, inside the lymphatic channels, and inside the tiny muscles that keep the area active. As we age, all three of these systems weaken. Blood flow becomes sluggish, like a river that once flowed fast but now barely moves. Lymphatic drainage, the system that removes extra fluid and waste, slows down too, allowing fluid to pool under the eyes. And the muscles that help pump and move that fluid become weak because we barely use them. It's like a cycle of stagnation happening right below the surface. That's why creams fail. They only touch the skin. They may cool it temporarily or tighten it for a few minutes, but they cannot reach the source of the stagnation. They cannot reactivate the muscles or open the flow inside the blood vessels. They cannot release the trapped fluid that's been stuck under the eyes for years. And this is why so many people spend money on eye serums and still wake up every morning with the same puffiness. The problem is not lack of moisture or elasticity. It is that the internal circulation engine under the eyes has slowed so much that the fluids have nowhere to go. He explained it like this. Imagine a sponge soaked with water. If you squeeze it, the water moves out. But if you leave it sitting still for hours, the water sinks to the bottom and collects there. Your under-eye area behaves in a similar way, especially after 60. Overnight, when the body is still and there's no muscle activity, fluid accumulates even more, and since the system responsible for moving that fluid no longer functions as it used to, the puffiness grows deeper and more permanent over the years. What's fascinating is that he noticed this same pattern in thousands of elderly patients. They all shared one thing in common: poor circulation around the eyes. Not poor skin quality, not lack of expensive treatments, but a slow breakdown of flow beneath the surface. And because the under-eye area is one of the most delicate places on the face, even small changes in internal circulation create big, visible changes. That's why puffiness is often the first noticeable sign of aging. It's not that the skin is aging faster, it's that the internal flow is breaking down faster. When the circulation is slow, the area becomes heavy, swollen, and tired-looking. The skin stretches from the trapped fluid, the muscles weaken further, and the cycle continues. This is the real reason puffiness becomes more stubborn with age. You're not just dealing with a surface issue. You're dealing with the entire support system behind the eyes beginning to slow down. Most people assume under-eye puffiness begins right where they see it under the eyes. But Japan's oldest doctor revealed something completely different and surprisingly logical once you understand how the face ages. He explained that the true cause of puffiness doesn't start below the eyes at all. It starts above them, in the parts of the face most people never even think about: the scalp, the forehead, and the eyebrows. These three areas form the foundation that supports the under-eye region, almost like the roof and upper floors of a building supporting what's beneath. When those upper structures weaken, tighten, or collapse with age, everything below them begins to sag or collect fluid, and that's where puffiness is born. As we get older, especially after 60, the scalp becomes tighter. Years of gravity, stress, poor posture, and reduced blood flow slowly shrink the mobility of the scalp. This tightening is subtle. You don't notice it happening, but it dramatically affects the entire face. When the scalp tightens, it pulls downward on the forehead muscles. And when the forehead starts moving downward instead of upward, it places pressure on the eyebrows, causing them to sink just a little lower each year. This is not dramatic enough to look like a drooping brow at first, but it's enough to change the entire flow of fluid around the eyes. The lowered eyebrows push down on the upper eyelid area, and that downward pressure creates a domino effect on the under-eye region. Suddenly, the area under the eyes becomes the lowest point in the system, which means fluid naturally collects there. He explained that the face is designed with natural drainage pathways that move fluid upward and outward, but once the scalp stiffens and the forehead drops, those pathways collapse. The lymphatic channels under the eyes can't drain upward because everything above them is pressing down. This is why puffiness often gets worse, even if you're taking care of your skin or getting good sleep. The physical structure above the eyes is not allowing proper drainage. It's like trying to empty a sink when someone is holding their hand tightly over the drain. No matter what cream you use, no matter what cold compress you apply, if the upper structure remains tight and heavy, nothing improves permanently. Japan's oldest doctor observed this pattern in nearly every older patient. When he gently lifted the scalp or supported the forehead upward, he noticed an immediate change in the under-eye area. The puffiness softened, the eyes brightened, the tension released, and this happened before he even touched the lower eye area. That's when he realized the under-eye puffiness was not a local issue, but the result of a bigger chain reaction happening above. This explains why so many people treat the wrong area for decades. They massage the under-eye skin, hoping to reduce swelling, but the real cause lives in the parts of the face that control tension and drainage. And the eyebrow area is especially important. When the brows sink, even a few millimeters, they restrict the muscles responsible for pumping lymphatic fluid around the eyes. Those muscles become weak and inactive because they're constantly under pressure. This leads to stagnation under the eyes, the exact environment where puffiness thrives. What seems like a simple cosmetic change is actually the result of a complex internal relationship between tension, gravity, circulation, and muscle activity. When the upper parts of the face collapse or become rigid, the under-eye region becomes overloaded and fluid begins trapping itself there. Understanding this changes everything. It means getting rid of puffy eyes isn't about fixing what's under the eyes, it's about lifting and awakening what's above them. It means the solution is not in creams, but in restoring the natural upward support system of the scalp, forehead, and eyebrows. Once those areas regain movement and circulation, the under-eye area finally gets the chance to drain and recover the way it was meant to. Most people don't realize that under-eye puffiness doesn't respond to creams and cold treatments because these solutions only work on the surface. They never reach the deeper systems that actually create the puffiness in the first place. According to Japan's oldest doctor, this is the reason people try product after product for years and still wake up every morning with the same swollen, tired-looking eyes. It's not because the products are bad. It's because the problem they're trying to solve doesn't live in the skin. The skin under the eyes is thin and delicate, but it's just the outer layer covering a complex network of muscles, blood vessels, and lymphatic channels. Puffiness forms when these deeper systems slow down, weaken, or collapse, and no cream is capable of reaching that far beneath the surface. When a cream is applied, it can cool the area temporarily, tighten the skin for a short time, or reduce surface-level inflammation. But beneath that temporary relief, the real issue remains untouched. The fluid trapped under the eye stays trapped. The weakened muscles responsible for pumping that fluid remain weak. The sluggish lymphatic flow continues to move slowly. So even if the under eye looks a little better right after applying a cream, the puffiness quickly returns because nothing has changed internally. Japan's oldest doctor often explained that trying to fix puffy eyes with creams is like trying to fix a flooded basement by mopping the floor while the water is still leaking from the pipes. You can clean the surface all you want, but unless you repair the source of the leak, the water will always come back. Cold spoons, cooling masks, and ice rollers have a similar issue. Yes, they reduce swelling temporarily by constricting blood vessels, but as soon as the skin returns to normal temperature, the blood and lymph flow slow again and the puffiness reappears. They offer relief, not results. They address the symptom, not the cause. Japan's oldest doctor said the real cause of persistent puffiness is stagnation. Stagnation of circulation, stagnation of lymphatic fluid, and stagnation of muscle movement in the entire eye-supporting system. None of these problems can be solved by applying anything onto the skin. They require reactivation from within. Surgeries and fillers also fail for the same reason. They can remove fat or tighten the skin artificially, but if circulation doesn't improve, the swelling often comes back, and sometimes even worse than before. He treated many older patients who had undergone cosmetic procedures only to discover that the puffiness simply shifted or reappeared because the underlying stagnation had never been corrected. The body's natural flow system must be restored for the eyes to look genuinely refreshed and youthful. This is why he insisted there is no permanent solution in the form of a cream, serum, mask, or tool placed only on the skin. The under-eye area doesn't need surface treatment, it needs internal activation. It needs the muscles above and around the eye to wake up. It needs the lymphatic channels to reopen. It needs the circulation to move again so the trapped fluid can finally drain. Once that flow is restored, the puffiness reduces naturally, and it stays reduced. The truth is, the eye area is one of the most reactive parts of the face. When the deeper systems begin working again, the skin responds almost immediately. This is why internal activation gives lasting results, while creams give temporary ones. The skin can only look as good as the system underneath it. If the system is stagnant, the skin will always show it. If the system is flowing, the skin will naturally reflect that health. Understanding this explains why so many people spend years trying to fix the wrong thing. Japan's oldest doctor believed that once people learn this simple truth, that creams cannot permanently fix puffy eyes because the cause isn't in the skin, they stop wasting time and start focusing on what finally works, restoring movement, circulation, and natural drainage from within. Japan's oldest doctor always emphasized that the under-eye area is not an isolated zone that can be fixed by poking, tapping, or massaging it alone. He explained that the eye region is part of a connected system, almost like a chain where each link influences the next. If one link weakens or becomes stiff, the entire chain is affected. This is why he insisted that the only real, permanent way to get rid of puffy eyes is by reactivating the entire structure that supports the eyes, starting from the scalp, then the forehead, then the eyebrows, and only then working on the under eye area itself. Most people do the exact opposite. They go straight to massaging under the eyes, applying creams, or pressing on the puffiness directly. But he explained that this is like trying to drain water from a lower floor while the blockage is on the upper floors. The water will always come back unless you clear the blockage above. He discovered that the scalp is the root of the problem because it becomes tighter with age. When the scalp loses flexibility, it pulls the forehead downward, and once the forehead starts dropping, it puts pressure on the eyebrows, causing them to sink. When the eyebrows sink, they restrict the muscles that support the under-eye circulation system. This creates a bottleneck, trapping fluids under the eyes. So, before touching the lower eye area, he taught that you must release the scalp. Simply by lifting and loosening the scalp with your fingertips, you restore blood flow to the forehead muscles and reduce the downward pulling force. He showed his patients that when the scalp relaxes, the forehead instantly becomes lighter and more movable, which is the first step in reopening the drainage pathways for the under-eye region. Next comes the forehead. He compared the forehead to a curtain that has slowly fallen over the eyes. When the forehead muscles weaken and sag, they don't just change your expression, they block drainage. So he taught gentle upward activation movements, soft, slow motions that retrain the forehead muscles to lift instead of collapse. He said this helps reprogram the muscle memory, reminding the forehead how to support the upper part of the face again. When the forehead lifts, even slightly, the eyebrows immediately have room to rise again. This upward shift opens the first major path for lymphatic flow to move away from the under eye area. Then comes the eyebrow area, which he considered the gateway of drainage. If the eyebrows are stuck, stiff, or pushed downward, the fluids under the eyes cannot move upward, no matter what you do. The muscles around the brows are small but powerful. They act like pumps for the lymphatic system. When you gently lift, stimulate, and awaken them, you reactivate these pumps. This allows the trapped fluid under the eyes to finally start moving. Only after these three areas, scalp, forehead, and eyebrows, are activated, should you work on the under eye area itself. And he taught very minimal stimulation here, because he believed the under eye skin is too delicate to handle aggressive pressure. Light tapping motions help signal the lymphatic fluid to drain now that the pathways above are open. He explained that this sequence is crucial. If you start with the under eye area first, the fluid has nowhere to go. But if you open the pathways above, then the fluid can drain freely, naturally, and permanently. This is why he said the method only works when done in the correct order. The scalp must release, the forehead must lift, the eyebrows must awaken, and then the under eye area can finally drain. It's a system, not a spot treatment. When all four steps are aligned, the body's natural flow returns and the puffiness gradually disappears. This approach creates lasting results because it restores the entire structural support of the eyes from the top down. As people move past the age of 60, one of the most important habits they can develop is learning to reset and support their mental and emotional well-being, because the mind plays a far deeper role in physical health, immunity, energy, and sleep quality than most people realize. Seniors often carry decades of responsibilities, memories, stress, unresolved worries, and mental fatigue that quietly accumulate over time and begin affecting the body in ways that seem unrelated, such as tension in the muscles, poor sleep, slowed digestion, irritability, or a constant sense of heaviness. What Japanese longevity experts and senior doctors emphasize is that mental stress slowly becomes physical stress, and unless a person intentionally creates moments of mental reset throughout the day, the body never gets the signal to relax, repair, or restore itself. This makes simple daily mindfulness routines incredibly valuable for those who want to live longer, stay healthy, and maintain clarity as they age. A gentle daily mental reset does not require long meditation sessions or complicated practices. It can be as simple as spending 3 minutes with eyes closed while focusing only on breathing, allowing the mind to detach from all tasks and responsibilities. Seniors often find that just a short pause like this calms the nervous system, lowers blood pressure, slows the heart rate, and brings a sense of inner balance that lasts throughout the day. Japanese doctors recommend pairing breathing with a soft body scan, moving attention slowly from head to toe to notice where tension is hiding and letting it melt away. This not only relaxes the mind but also increases body awareness, helping seniors avoid stiffness, falls, and unnecessary strain. Another powerful part of a daily mental support routine is engaging in small, enjoyable activities that stimulate the brain in positive ways. Whether it's listening to calming music, reading something uplifting, practicing a hobby, tending to plants, or spending a few minutes outdoors, the mind responds immediately to moments that spark interest or joy. Seniors who consistently include these small pleasures in their day show better emotional stability, sharper memory, and greater motivation to stay active. Japanese long-life communities treat even simple tasks like arranging flowers, organizing small items, or writing in a journal as mini-therapy sessions that keep the mind grounded and peaceful. In addition to this, emotional release is an important part of maintaining mental wellness after 60. Many older adults carry silent stress from family responsibilities, financial concerns, or past experiences. Japanese doctors recommend the use of gentle self-talk, where seniors speak kindly to themselves rather than letting negative thoughts dominate the mind. This reduces cortisol levels and builds emotional resilience. Even writing worries onto paper and then discarding the paper is known to reduce mental burden and create a lighter emotional state. Another valuable practice is connecting with others, even in small ways. Simple daily interaction, greeting neighbors, talking with friends, sharing a meal, or calling a family member provides emotional stimulation that keeps the brain active and prevents loneliness, which is known to accelerate aging. Studies show that seniors who maintain regular social connection experience improved heart health, stronger immunity, better sleep, and greater life satisfaction. As people grow older, the body's ability to recover, repair, and maintain energy naturally slows down, making the quality of sleep one of the most important pillars of long-term health. Seniors often experience changes in sleep patterns, such as waking up frequently at night, difficulty falling asleep, light sleep, or waking up too early. Japanese longevity experts emphasize that these changes are not just an inconvenience, but a sign that the body needs a structured nightly routine to reset itself physically and mentally. Establishing a consistent wind-down pattern helps regulate hormones, reduce stress, improve digestion, and allow the brain to enter deeper sleep cycles that are essential for memory, balance, and overall energy during the day. A nightly routine doesn't have to be complicated. It begins with signaling to the body that the day is ending. This can be done by dimming lights, avoiding loud noise, and reducing screen exposure, especially from mobile phones and televisions. Blue light sends confusing signals to the brain, making it believe it is still daytime, preventing the release of melatonin, the hormone responsible for sleep. Japanese doctors recommend switching to soft yellow lighting and lowering sound levels at least 1 hour before going to bed, creating a calm atmosphere that gently guides the mind toward restfulness. Another important part of this routine is relaxation of the body. Gentle stretching, such as slow neck rotations, shoulder rolls, and deep breathing, helps release tension accumulated throughout the day. Many seniors unknowingly carry stiffness in the back, hips, and legs, which interrupts sleep because the body struggles to relax fully. Japanese senior health experts suggest a simple 3-minute practice. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds, and repeat this while loosening the muscles of the shoulders and jaw. This slow breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for deep rest and recovery. Warmth is also a powerful sleep enhancer. A warm shower or soaking feet in warm water before bed improves circulation and signals to the brain that it is time to relax. This practice, common among long-living Japanese elders, reduces stress hormones, relaxes tight muscles, and prepares the body for uninterrupted sleep. Even holding a warm cup of herbal tea such as chamomile, ginger, or mint can create psychological comfort and promote calmness. Another essential element is reducing mental noise before bedtime. Overthinking, worry, and replaying the day's events can disrupt sleep more than physical discomfort. A simple practice called mind unloading is used widely in Japanese senior therapy, writing down all thoughts, worries, or plans for the next day. This helps clear the mind and gives a sense of closure to the day. Seniors who do this regularly experience fewer nighttime awakenings and fall asleep faster because the brain is not trying to process too much information. Environment plays a major role as well. A cool, quiet room improves sleep quality significantly. Soft bedding, a supportive pillow, and a slightly cool temperature help maintain deeper sleep cycles. Removing clutter from the sleeping area reduces mental distraction and creates a peaceful environment. Even adding natural elements like indoor plants or soft scents such as lavender has been shown to calm the mind. Finally, maintaining a fixed sleeping and waking time strengthens the body's internal clock. When the body learns a rhythm, it begins to release sleep hormones naturally at the right time each night, making sleep feel effortless and restoring energy for the next day.